Overnight, U.S. warplanes carried out precision strikes on Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria, following what the Pentagon described as unacceptable levels of attacks on American personnel in the region. But here's what is not being said loud enough. These strikes didn't happen in isolation. They were part of a rapidly evolving game of brinkmanship that is playing out across the Middle East. And one wrong move could ignite a conflict far bigger than what anyone has prepared for. What's fueling this fire? Since early April, pro-Iranian groups like Qatar, IB Hezbollah, and Harakat Hezbollah al-Nujaba have dramatically ramped up their drone and rocket attacks on U.S. bases in both Iraq and Syria. According to CENTCOM, over a dozen incidents occurred in just the last 2 weeks. American troops were injured. The White House warned Tehran, but the attacks kept coming. Then came the response. On April 28th, the U.S. launched retaliatory airstrikes near the Iraq-Syria border, targeting weapons depots, command centers, and militia convoys. While the Department of Defense claims it was a proportional and defensive move, Iranian state media called it an act of war. And here is the kicker. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, who is technically an ally of the USAL, publicly condemned the airstrikes as a violation of sovereignty. That's the level of complexity here. The US is fighting militias that operate in countries led by governments it supports, but those same governments are increasingly drifting toward Iran. The question now is, what's next? US forces in the region are on high alert. The USS Dwight D. Eisenhower carrier strike group has moved closer to the Persian Gulf. Israel is watching closely, worried that escalation with Iran's proxies could drag them into another northern front. Meanwhile, Iran's Revolutionary Guard issued a rare statement. All American aggression will be met with decisive resistance. But beneath the immediate danger lies a much bigger trend. Since 2023, Iran has been testing the limits of U.S. deterrence in the region. The chaos in Gaza, instability in Lebanon, and the power vacuum in Syria have created perfect conditions for Tehran to expand its influence. And the Biden administration, already grappling with an election year crisis, is walking a diplomatic tightrope. Act too soft and risk American credibility. Act too hard, and you spark a war the public doesn't want. Still watching? This is why it's more than just another headline. It is a signal of how fragile the balance of power in the Middle East really is. And here's where it directly hits home for American voters. Oil prices jumped 3% after the strikes. The markets are already factoring in the risk of a broader regional conflict. With inflation still haunting the economy and gas prices rising again, foreign policy isn't staying overseas. It's creeping right into American wallets. What's your take? Are we deterring Iran or provoking something bigger? If you've been following this, hit that like button so more people get to see this story. And don't forget to subscribe. We're unpacking the biggest geopolitical moves as they happen. You won't want to miss what's coming next.